Hey guys, this is Anna with Illuminating Stories. Welcome back. Yes, it has been a hot minute, 6 months to be exact. I honestly did not intend to go this long without posting, but here we are. I know this year in particular has been even more challenging in many ways than what we all went through collectively in 2020. And it almost seems like a worsening continuation of what got started last year. And all of the energetics at play, the external events, all of those may be external in nature, but I think we're at a very critical juncture where the energetics that are going around is beginning or have been affecting each of our lives on some profound and or devastating manner. And so I think it's just a topic that I wanted to touch on, talk to you guys about, share some insights that I feel guided to share, and also just some tips or just sharing how I'm navigating these events, because my personal life has also been turned upside down in ways that feels very devastating. So if this is the kind of topic that you're interested in, that you can relate to, then let's just dive a little deeper into it. All right, so first thing first, one of the things that I get asked quite often is around future events. So right off the bat, I have been receiving a lot of messages around what is to come on a variety of different topics, if you will. And most of them have really come through very specific dreams. And so a lot of information that I rely really heavily are those that come through dreams. And it's always been that way since I was a little girl. Having said all that, though, one of the things that's been made very clear by the spirit world is to kind of keep those events and information very close to my heart, to be very careful of the temptation to be right. And when I receive these types of information and I feel kind of guided to share, to really examine my why. Like, why do I feel compelled to share? And are the intentions pure? Is it going to add value? Is it going to make a difference if I were to have shared it, right? And so when I really thought about what the spirit world was kind of teaching me in those moments that I felt like hopping on and sharing, the information that I was kind of receiving, like, it really made me appreciate the fact that there are events where through sharing we may be able to affect change in a very positive direction, but there are events that are going to take place where the trajectory is pretty set in stone. So it's going to happen no matter what. If sharing that kind of information is going to, I guess, lower the collective vibe and cause fear, unnecessary anxiety, or any of those types of low vibrational emotions, then the act of sharing in itself is causing harm. And that's kind of the perspective that they shared with me. And so I'm going to honor their wishes on that and not share specifics. But what I do want to share is the guidance that they had for anyone that's watching this video. And that is, when it comes to future events, right? And things are already chaotic enough. As the events continue to unfold, what you need to kind of do for yourself is to check in with your own intuition and your own spirit guides. Because at the end of the day, each of us are going to be receiving information that we're meant to receive. And just because someone with 500,000 followers is telling you XYZ, you really need to discern the content that you're consuming. The follower count in itself does not necessarily equate to good intentions. Okay? As we navigate the events that continue to unfold, check in with your own intuition, exercise discernment in what information you're receiving, what information you're consuming, and whether that truly resonates with you and your truth. All right? So if you hear something that causes anxiety or stress or fear, like, honestly, take that as a cue to take a step back and check in with your own spirit guides, check in with Great Spirit, your angels, archangels, your ancestors, like whatever consists of your spirit guides and your own spirit team, check in with them. All right? Because we all have our individual truths, and depending on where you are in your own spiritual journey, you may have very specific tasks that are going to be revealed to you in divine timing. And it's going to be different for each one of us. Okay? So it's really, really important for you to not allow yourself to be influenced, okay, by any external parties regarding these events, what you should and should not do, because you should be in control of how you want to navigate and how you choose to receive that information. But the truth is always within you. And the second thing I wanted to talk about around future events is to not judge yourself in regards to whether you're doing enough, whether you know enough, or whether you have the right resources, the right tools, the right anything, right? I think the experiences that we're having during this time is so unique in that we're all going to process these events very differently. And there really is no right or wrong answer. It's only what's right for you. If you kind of feel like, man, you know, there's got to be something that I can do. Man, I need to, you know, prepare or do this or do that. Like, whatever that is, just make sure it's really coming from a place of love and not fear, and a place of non-judgment. Give yourself grace. So if you feel guided to just rest, and you don't really feel guided to like do anything specific from a spiritual standpoint to help what's to come or what is happening or whatever the case may be, just honor you. Because the chances are, if you really feel like you're too tired, you don't have enough energy, you don't feel motivated, like, it's really, that in itself is message that is exactly what is needed for you at this time. On the flip side, if you are at a stage where you feel very motivated and energetic, you've learned new skills, you want to put them to work, whatever that work might be, you know, I'm just going to say service work, then you're going to feel that nudge and the urge to do exactly that. You know, you may feel guided to, you know, join forces with other people to perform specific energy work or specific something, work on project, to share what you feel guided to share, then do that. But at the end of the day, like, each of our role is going to be unfolded and revealed in divine timing. And it's one of those things that whatever our specific purpose and tasks are as we navigate this really challenging times, is there is nothing for you to worry about in terms of what it is that you're supposed to do. You're going to know. It's going to come in the form of an activation. You're going to have no doubt because you've been training for this. You know, whether you realize this or not, whether it's in dream time, whether it's during meditation, a lot of the visions that you receive through dreams and or meditations are just natural, like intuitive hits. Like they're not just imagination. And imagination is something that's very unique to each of us that we wouldn't even have the capacity to have if we weren't meant to receive it. All right. So as far as external events, future events are concerned, honestly, don't overthink it. Just be very discerning with the content that you consume, what predictions you pay attention to. But in any event, act in accordance with your truth, okay? And never out of fear. Regardless of what it is, like just know that everything is going to work out for our highest good and for the good of all. And in terms of any specific outcomes, I encourage you guys to, if you pray about it, to always ask for the highest possible outcome for the good of all. And just release all expectations. Go with the flow. Like honestly, that's the best advice I have for you guys. So be discerning, check in with your own intuition, just give yourself grace and do as you feel guided, whatever those actions may be or inactions. But just know that in divine timing, your specific role and tasks will be revealed to you. It can't bypass you and you won't miss out on it. Like there's something specific that needs to be done. It's going to come to you no matter what, all in divine timing. So I think it's really important for you to not let fear affect you in ways that are harmful to your well-being. So that's all I'm going to say about that. If I feel guided to share anything specific around future events, but if I ever do that, it's going to be for a very good reason, and it's going to be add some kind of value or actions that are necessary, but not just to share it to want to be right or to share it to stir up any low vibrational emotions, because that would be doing more disservice than anything else. So I'm not about that at all. So that's what I have for you guys around external events, and let's move on to the next topic. All right, guys, so let's talk about how the energies that have been swirling around this year has been affecting your lives on a personal level. So I'm really curious, like, has this year been tough for you guys, even more so than last year? Because for me personally, it has been brutal. So not only through observation of what's going on externally, because that alone has been really taxing to kind of keep up with, and I really had to set limits on the kind of content I consume, social media, like all of that. I had to really limit it to kind of stay in my own energy and to keep my own vibration as high as possible. But like even on a personal level, like it has been like beat down. I don't know. It's been really challenging, but probably more devastating right now as it has ever been. But without kind of getting into the details, the one thing that I do want to let you guys know is if you are going through a major life event where you feel like your foundation is like literally crumbling to bits and you feel devastated, you feel lost, you feel scared, you feel all the emotions that comes with like why me kind of mood, I'm right there with you. I think a lot of what's being revealed externally, I will say the veil is probably the thinnest I've ever experienced. There's a lot of activities going on in the spiritual realms, and all of that affects not only what goes on around us, but in each of our lives as well. So you're kind of experiencing a lot of what I'm gonna call like tower moments. And that's honestly like part of the process, right? As devastating as each of those individual life events may feel, I encourage you to kind of step out of the why me situation, but don't judge it. The way I've been navigating is honestly, the past couple of weeks have been probably like all of my training as an energy medicine practitioner has like gone out the window. I took some time off and like really made sure that I processed my emotions head on. And I will be the first to let you know that I've had moments where I told the spiritual realms, like, leave me the fuck alone. Like, I need this time to just be human and process them in a way that feels right for me in those moments. And to not judge myself for any of it. And to give myself grace for all of the things that I was feeling in those moments. And even though I realize now that I've been warned about these events, like I said, like 2 years ago, it doesn't make it any easier when you actually experience it. And I think honestly that's one of the reasons why like actually knowing future events, if you cannot change the outcome, if they're out of your control, isn't helpful. And on one side, you would think that because the seeds have been planted in your head, that when it actually happens or manifests, that it would be easier, but it really is not. You know what I mean? You go through the emotions just as if you were blindsided, right? If you're going through something major and you don't know how you're going to get through it, just know that I'm right there with you. Okay? And damn it, we're going to get through it. We're going to get through it. For me, as I allowed myself to feel all of the emotions that come with the changes, at a point now where I'm going through that acceptance stage, right? So you kind of feel initially the shock of it, the anger, the desperation, and then you finally realize there's absolutely nothing that you can do to change the outcome, and you surrender, you accept. And as I continue to pray and ask for strength, guidance, and clarity on my path forward, you begin to focus on the growth this experience is bringing you, and begin to focus more on the good that can come out of experiences that often feel devastating and traumatizing at the soul level. And I wish that our time on earth didn't have to be this way. It is the reality that we all find ourselves in, and we just have to dig deep to see the bigger picture and why things have to be the way they are. So to all of you that are going through some challenging times right now, my heart goes out to you. I send you so much love. I send you so much strength. Believe that you have the resilience it takes to grow from these experiences. And in the end, all of these experiences end up defining the greatness that is in each of us. To be honest, there are people that have a tendency, in some ways to glamorize shamans or, people like that. But I'll be the first to tell you that being a shaman really involves firsthand experiences that are very, very difficult to overcome and to grow from. That's how we really build our medicine bag, right? Is through firsthand experiences of many, many traumatic life experiences, what we learn from them, how we grow from them, how we transmute and ultimately heal ourselves from those experiences. And we take the deep, deep compassion and empathy that we gain from those experiences and allow those to support the clients that we work with. And it's really difficult, but just know that we are absolutely not immune to any devastating life experiences, and more often than not, it's quite the opposite. But that is what we signed up for. And in my case, not consciously in this lifetime, I freaking never imagined this is where I'd be at this age, this stage in my life. But here we are, and I learned to embrace my new reality. Still trying to figure it all out. I'm still learning, growing. I know there's many, many more lessons to come. In the end, I think after each of those experiences, I get mad sometimes at the spirit world and all that. I throw tantrums. God, you would not even. But, I have a really good relationship with the spirit world. And in the end, I know sometimes it feels like tough love, but I feel the deep, deep love that comes from navigating all of these experiences together. So I'm grateful. I would not trade what I've gained from being on this path for anything my past can offer. But it's hard, So all that being said, if you are going through very devastating life events as we speak, or, have gone through, just know that there's always light at the end of the tunnel. We will all get through it together. You are not alone. Give yourself grace, give yourself compassion, and give yourself the love that you truly deserve. Because I think as a society on the whole, I think we've been so conditioned to provide all of those things for other people, but we're so judgmental, so critical, and harsh when it comes to ourselves. I want you to know that you are so deserving of all of it, and it always starts with you. Okay? So don't judge yourself for the way you are processing those life events. Give yourself lots of grace. Give yourself lots of love. Seek support you feel guided to. Surround yourself with people that support you. If not, your spirit team. You may not be able to see them, but I guarantee you can feel them. So just know that you are never, ever, ever alone. And just know that you're fully supported. And if you are new to my channel, welcome. I cannot promise that I'm going to be uploading on a consistent basis, but I am going to work on it. It's an area that I'm giving myself a lot of grace on right now, so don't judge me. But I'm new at all of this, right? And I'm just getting used to the idea of doing videos, trying to overcome my introvertedness, because I'm very introverted. I hate being on camera. Social media is just so scary to me. So all that being said, whenever I feel guided to share something that I hope to be of value, I will make it my commitment to upload. If you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, or you can relate to everything that I'm talking about here, like, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And if you have been going through some tough times and you want some moral support, comment down below. Like, share whatever you're comfortable sharing, and just know that collectively, we send you so much love and strength, compassion and grace and empathy, all of that. We will get through these times together, and we're going to come out of it so much stronger and so much better for it. So things may seem very chaotic, just life altering, devastating, all of that, icky emotions, very difficult and challenging emotions. But ultimately, when it comes to outcomes, always ask for outcomes that are aligned with their highest good and for the good of all involved, and just release the expectations. Because the more you try to control it, the more you try to resist the changes that you know are inevitable, the more challenging it's going to be. Like, sometimes they'll dial up the intensity of whatever it is that you were meant to release, and it can get worse. And I'm just going to put that out there. So, the sooner you can, well, I'm not going to say the sooner, because take as much time as you need, because you'll know when you're ready to move on to that acceptance stage, surrender stage, all of that. But just know that all will be well for it. So don't judge yourself. So yeah, just comment down below, share if you feel guided to share. My contact information is listed down below. So when I open my calendar back up to start working with clients again, if you'll feel guided to work with me, I would love to support you. I'm always here. I will check my email, so if you want to send me an email to connect with me that way, I will be happy to connect with you on a more private basis as well. So that is all that I have for today. I have a couple more topics that I really want to talk to you guys about. So as I feel ready and work up the courage to be in front of the camera again, I will do so. So don't write me off just yet, because I go MIA often. But I promise I will work on being better and get more used to uploading on hopefully a more regular and predictable schedule. I wish you well, and I will talk to you again in my next video. Take care.